Sri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Sri Sadguru Paramatmane Namaha. Sarva Maharshibhyo Namaha. The importance of performing one's own duty is declared. 35th Sloka. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat swanishthitat swadharme nidanam shreyaha paradharmo vayavahaha. Substance. One's own duty, ill performed and without merit, is better than the duty of another well discharged. Better is death in discharging one's own duty. Another's duty is fraught with fear. Commentary. Arjuna is a Kshatriya. It is his duty to fight a righteous war though he may face death in the attempt. To neglect his duty and adopt the duty of another is dangerous because it would upset the order of the world and create confusion and chaos in the society. In the first discourse, Arjuna spoke in a mood of despondency that he would prefer to live on alms like a mendicant than kill his relations and friends in battle. The Lord here states the law for a Kshatriya and the danger of neglecting it and adopting the life of another. The word Swadharmaha may be taken to mean the law of the self, and Paradharma may mean the law of the objective world, that is, the pleasure of the senses and the physical body. Whatever is the conducive to self realization should be followed, even if it causes death in the attempt. Whatever draws away from the Atma Dharma should be avoided. Fasting, penance, and other sadhanas, though irksome in the beginning, confer great merit finally. They constitute Atma Dharma. On the other hand, worldly pleasures, though enjoyable at first, lead to pain and suffering. So the seeker should hold on to the self and go on practicing the prescribed duties. Sometimes the seeker may feel that he is not making any progress and that his sadhana is futile. In these moments of doubt, the seeker should be cautious and firm. He should not abandon his practices. Though if he dies in the midst of his yoga sadhana, he does not perish. He attains to a higher world and would come to act again into the human body to continue his work. So the Lord exhorts the seeker not to give up Swadharma, Atma Dharma under any circumstances. Question. Between Swadharma and Paradharma, which is better and why? Answer. Swadharma is better, though difficult to practice. Paradharma is fraught with fear, though easy to follow. By performing one's own duty, man realizes God. Though one dies in the attempt, it is good for him. Arjuna questions the Lord by what power man is forced to commit sin even against his will. 36th Sloka. Arjuna Uvacha Atha Kena Prayuktoyam Papam Charati Purushaha Anichannapi Vashneya Baladivan Yojitaha. Substance. Arjuna said, O Krishna, constrained by force as it were, by what does man commit sin even against his wish? Commentary. As the Lord continued his teaching about restraining the senses, overcoming raga and dvesha, and discharging one's duty, Arjuna was seized with a deep doubt about the mysterious force that seems to compel man into evil, in spite of his efforts to avoid it. Such a doubt will naturally occur to every seeker, and so the question and the Lord's answer are of the greatest importance to the mankind. Who does not know that indulgence in sense pleasures is a mental slavery? Who does not know that anger, spite, ill will, envy, and pride are wrong mental attitudes, and most of the people yield to them even against their wish? No one desires to do evil or commit sin, and yet some mysterious force seems to drive mankind into evil and sinful ways of life. What is that mysterious power? Where does it abide? How can it be counteracted? These things are essential for all seekers to know. One should have a clear understanding of the cause and source of evil, and then only can its activity be neutralized. There are some plants which persist in sprouting up again and again, though the stem is cut off repeatedly. If the roots are pulled out and destroyed, there is no further danger of their growth. So, the cause of the sin should be known, and if the cause is removed, the resultant evil would not be there. The force of evil is in the man itself. It is this power that drives man to do evil, though he knows that it is evil and though he desires to avoid it. The Lord explains the nature of this mysterious force from the next verse onwards. There are three types of individuals: those who are free from evil, those who do not wish to do evil and yet are under its sway, those who do evil with knowing it to be such. The first are Jivan Muktas, rare men who have crossed the ocean of samsara. The tricks and subterfuges of Maya cannot betray them into evil at any time and for any reason. The second type of men are sincere seekers. Arjuna's question is from the standpoint of this type of men. The third type of men are evil minded, sinful, plunged in darkness, reveling in sensuality, and embodying all that is hateful and self destructive. 37th Sloka Sri Bhagavanuvacha Kama Esha Krodha Esha Rajoguna Samudbhavaha Mahashano Mahapapma Vidyena Mihavairinam. Substance. The Blessed Lord said, it is desire, it is anger, born of Rajoguna, the impulse of action, all consuming and all evil. Know this as the enemy here. Commentary. Here the Lord explains the secret of the mysterious force that compels man to commit sin, though he does not wish it. Knowing full well that an act is evil and sincerely wishing to avoid it, man, however, does it in spite of himself. This is within the experience of all human beings. The Lord analyzes the force and says that the twin evils of Kama and Krodha constitute the power behind all the sins committed by man. Kama and Krodha are wicked twins like Ravana and Kumbhakarna, like Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakasipu. The aforesaid Raga and Dvesha and manifestations of Kama and Krodha. Of these two, Kama is the first and Krodha is but the effect of Kama. The first is the cause and the second is the effect. When there is no cause, there can be no effect. When there is no Kama, there is no Krodha. Kama is therefore said to be the first of 6 evil tendencies in man. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Kama is the captain of the team of inimical forces which harass mankind and stand directly in the way of self-realization. The Lord describes Kama and Krodha by the 2 significant epithets. Kama is all devouring, Mahashanaha. Like fire, it burns, consuming everything that is offered to satisfy its hunger for enjoyment. Fire is not extinguished so long as you pour oblations of oil and ghee into it. They only add to its consuming power. Such is Kama. The attempt to satisfy it only makes it stronger and more clamorous for further and further enjoyment. How then can it be conquered? Let no fuel be added to the fire, and the fire weakens and dies in ashes. So also, let no attempt be made to satisfy Kama, and it dies a natural death. The rejection of desire as soon as it is born is the way to overcome it. Constant inquiry into the nature of the self, which is bliss itself, will naturally eliminate desires from the mind. When man by his birthright is very source and fountainhead of all bliss, why does he need small external objects to give him joy and pleasure? So the seeker should constantly contemplate the blissful nature of his real self. Those twin evils are all sinful, mahapapam. The most heinous crimes are committed. The greatest disasters of the human race are caused by these forces. The little good that man has accumulated through the series of births is neutralized and overweighed by the amount of sin committed by kama and krodha. Lust and greed form the food for karma. When karma is frustrated, it takes an ugly form of krodha, wrath. Again, they are described as the foes of man. They are the nearest and the greatest enemies of man. Through a series of births, they have acquired an undisputed mastery over the heart of man. Having occupied the innermost recesses of the heart, they have been exercising control and authority over man's impulses and conduct in the material world. The whole personality of man is thus enslaved by a secret and powerful enemy for a long time. They have brought their associates also, Lobha, Moha, Mada, and Matsarya, into the inner part of man's heart. These evils act with wonderful coordination. If one is suppressed, another comes up. If that is suppressed, the former crops up again with different shapes and forms at unexpected time and in unexpected places. They show themselves up and harass the weak and unfortunate human being. Therefore, the Lord speaks inspiring words to the seeker to conquer the enemy with courage and determination. However, long and hard the struggle may be. The forthcoming verses ending with Jahi Shatrum Mahabaho is the Lord's magnificent exhortation to defeat and destroy the enemy in every possible way. Question: What is the force? What is the force that compels man to commit sin? Answer: It is kama and it is krodha. Question: What is the nature of these two twin evils? Answer: They are all devouring and all sinful, and they are the constant enemies of the spiritual seeker.